Ted 2, which of course is a sequel to Seth MacFarlane's Ted from 2012. Ryan.
Yeah, so obviously Ted 2, massively successful, the first one. This is a sequel to it. It's directed by Seth MacFarlane, and obviously voiced and written by Seth MacFarlane and starring Seth MacFarlane. It's very much Seth MacFarlane's baby.
Do you think Seth MacFarlane loves himself a little bit?
A little bit. I mean, I remember back to that story, I remember back to that story that was like, he was nearly on the flight which went into the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And so he was that close to dying, and I do wonder if that sort of catalysed him to do as much stuff as he can to live his life.
I mean, fair play to him, to have that happen.
Everything that's on his plate in the past 5 years. I mean, he's had Dad's, that sitcom, which was panned. Obviously, he's got Family Guy, Cleveland Show, American Dad, Million Ways to Die in the West, Ted 1 and 2. There's another big one I'm missing, isn't there? No, he did Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy as well, that little spin-off thing. And obviously, probably another few projects as well. But you just do get the feeling that he is doing a lot of stuff, and it definitely is starting to wear thin, as it has been for about 5 years now. Family Guy stopped being funny a while ago now, and his other stuff has been middling returns and quality. But you do get the feeling that he is trying to do as much as he can, which is fair play to him, because he is a talented guy. He's definitely a good voice actor, but a lot of the stuff that he's doing is quite lazy, to be honest. So basically, the basic story of Ted is that Ted is the character of the film, and he is animated. He is a bear, and he is voiced by Seth MacFarlane. I mean, I don't know how they animated the bears.
It's motion capture, so Seth MacFarlane is on set wearing the suit, and it's all like matched up to him. So it's basically what he does is just Ted. It's all quite clever. It's one of the sort of first films that did that.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a decent animation. I mean, you can believe that he's there, But it's good. For a comedy, it's decent animation.
Yeah.
It's good enough to say that. But basically, the story is that John Bennett, played by Mark Wahlberg, has now divorced himself from Laurie Collins, Mila Kunis' character. In the first one, he's been divorced for 6 months, and they make you aware of that in one of the most ham-fisted lines of exposition they could possibly have done. Where he just suddenly brings it up in the middle of his own wedding, as you do. But I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really struck on her in the first one, so I don't think she had very good comic timing.
She kind of had to be the straight guy, didn't she?
I don't really like her as an actress outside of voice acting, because I mean, obviously Jupiter Ascending, which was atrocious.
Yeah,
she was in that. And I'm just not struck on her at all.
Can't wait for the drink again for that.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be terrific. But it's yee. We love our drink here. But I'm just saying, like,
what does that mean?
I don't know. We're alcoholics. Leave us alone. But okay, I'm just saying, like, so Mila Kunis is gone, and I guess she was pregnant. This probably.
Yeah, she did. She was pregnant about the time. So I'm assuming that's why she dropped out.
I mean, obviously, she probably filmed Jupiter Ascending before she was there, but whatever. But they broke up now, and now obviously he's alone, and they're at the wedding of Ted's girlfriend, Tammy Lynn, played by Jessica Barth, who's, I mean, has she been in anything much?
I haven't got a clue.
Ted 1.
Ted 1.
Ted 1. And I recognise the name, that's where but obviously their marriage starts well, but it gets rocky after it goes to 1 year later, and it's not very good at all, and they decide they wanted to have a child to sort of establish their relationship and make it real. However, he hasn't exactly got the parts to, I don't like it, this is not very good to explain, he doesn't have the reproductive organs to create this child, so he has to ask various celebrities to get sperm for him. However, he ends up asking John, who was reluctant, but he ends up doing it in the end, and shenanigans ensue. But basically, this is one long Family Guy episode. It is just like the first one, but this is even more obvious because there is a story to this one. It's probably thematically stronger than the first one, but however, it is essentially just an extremely long Family Guy episode, which is like, they have got such painfully obvious non sequiturs in it that it literally is just really a live action Family Guy episode. I mean, there's one joke involving prostitution, which is literally a cutaway gag. It's like 5 seconds long, and then there's a comedy club gag, which is arguably one of the funniest things in the entire film, which is literally like a minute long, and it has no effect on the plot other than being a cutaway gag. And then there obviously are the reused gags from Family Guy. I mean, there's a scene at the very beginning with neighbours shouting each other from their windows and then turning on this one woman, which is exactly like Family Guy. And then the gag in the sperm donors bank is exactly from Family Guy as well. So, I mean, I don't know if that's just him running out of creativity, or if he just feels like they could be used in the same context in a funny way again.
I don't know. It seems like he seems like a man who's running out of ideas, and I understand. I hadn't really thought of that he's probably trying to just do as much as he can to sort of make up for the fact that you know.
We were all like relatively big fans of Family Guy. You when we were younger, surely. Like we,
yeah. I like Family Guy.
It was very, very funny when it was good. But the thing is now, it's because and it's literally and it's mercilessly mocked by South Park alone. I mean, they literally did that gag. Do you remember that one where it's like saying that all the writers are basically just like walruses putting balls into lottery things, and that writes the plot for Family Guy.
Once South Park gets you, that's it.
Exactly, like South Park has just completely obliterated Family Guy time and time again. But I mean, it's sad because it used to be funny, but I'm guessing it is just wear and tear because he's got so many projects he can't focus on one thing, and it really does show. I mean, you can see Seth MacFarlane is a very talented man. He's a very knowledgeable man. He's not an idiot. He's smart, even though he does do toilet humour a lot. You can clearly see he has knowledge of it. But the thing that Liam was saying on the bus on the way back from the film, he literally was saying, like, do you think Seth MacFarlane likes movies?
He's so self-congratulatory. It's just a constant backslapping thing about look at these friends. Look, Amanda Seyfried's my friend. We've worked together before. Morgan Freeman, we've worked together. Liam Neeson, he's my friend. Oh look, Mila Kunis. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's just look at all my showbiz friends. Look at how many films I've seen. I'm going to reference them all.
Yeah, exactly.
And just slap myself on the back.
Yeah, I mean, Amanda Seyfried. I mean, obviously, in this film, Ted, obviously, after the marriage has been broken down and they try to save it, many things happen, and Ted can no longer be categorised as a person. He is a property of the government. So obviously that involves. It's so ludicrously stupid, isn't it?
Yep.
He is the property of the government, so he can't have a functioning life. And basically, to counterfeit this, they have to get a lawyer, but no one will put up for them apart from this older lawyer's young daughter, played by Amanda Seyfried, who I thought was much better than Mila Kunis in the first one. I mean, she's got she's such a weird looking girl, isn't she?
And it is referenced in the film.
Yeah, I mean, I know they call her Gollum in the film, but like it's like Joe was right. Literally, from one side of her face, she looks really nice, and then it's really strange. But she is cute. I like her, but she's a really talented actress as well. She's got some really good lines, and she can keep up with Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane really easily. There's a great little musical number she's got as well, which comes out of nowhere, but that's just Seth MacFarlane because he loves his musical numbers in everything he's ever done. I don't know if he did one in A Million Ways to Die when you watch that, but
I think he does.
Honestly, I can't.
I think it's in the trailer.
But it's literally just and then it's celebrity cameo and celebrity. I mean, there's Liam Neeson, as you said, is in this. He's in there for like 20 seconds, just as random funny bits, and then obviously we've got Morgan Freeman in there in the last half an hour, and he just is in there to bring it all home.
Jay Leno's chin.
Jay Leno's in there for like 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really just like it's just having all of his friends in there to do funny bits, just like in Family Guy, and just having all of these scenes paying homage. I mean, there's a fantastic Jurassic Park homage, which is literally shot for shot.
Is it fantastic though?
Yes.
Or is it literally just there because
the amount of film references?
There's so many. Like
there's Jurassic Park, there's The Breakfast Club, there's Raging Bull.
That one made me angry. The Breakfast Club one made me angry.
I didn't notice the
That's them dancing in the library.
Oh, the library. Oh, yeah.
That made me really,
I haven't seen
really
The Breakfast
mad.
Club, so I can't.
There's probably a few others, but
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's really just. I mean, it's shot for shot remake of the classic scene from Jurassic Park with the brachiosaurs. It's just. So, I mean, it's literally just about it's marijuana. Like, instead of dinosaurs, they're looking at marijuana, and they literally shot for shot, line for line, recreate that scene. And it's quite funny to see that. But I mean, when your film is entirely cutaways and cameos and just random funny bits, then the best comedies usually have at least some substance to them, and that's why if you look at the classic ones, I mean, Airplane was just completely committed to the background gags alone with The Price of Admission, and then you look at even look at the stuff like Back to the Future wasn't a full-on comedy, but you look at that's just completely grounded in the fact that it's got such strong characters, and then Ghostbusters obviously seminal with that character as well. You feel like you love Dan Aykroyd and you love Bill Murray and you love everybody involved with that, apart from Ernie Hudson, who gets forgotten every time. He's like the fourth Beatle essentially. But you just literally, I mean, it's just, I mean, it was funny. It's a funny enough film. It's funny enough.
I think I would say hit and miss, but it's more misses.
I mean, obviously Seth MacFarlane is a massive fan of toilet humour, and there is a lot of toilet. There's one gag involving Google, which we can't mention legally, but like
legally,
you literally legally we can't mention it. But it's just very lazy, and they bring it up 3 or 4 times during the film. It literally feels like Family Guy in the way it's filmed and presented as well. It's just, I mean, this is all the. I mean, there are some legitimately smart jokes in there, like some great sight gags as well. It's a lot more sure than the first one, I thought, but then it's just a random joke, and then poor Amanda Seyfried is literally called Samantha L. Jackson, and they literally play that as the fact that she's called Sam L. Jackson and use that as a joke, and then it just doesn't feel it's not funny. Like these random like toilet humor gags are just not funny anymore. Like people are, I mean, I don't know if it's just because we're just used to seeing smarter comedy, but I mean there is a place for toilet humor obviously, but when it's so when it's so icky and like pointless, you know.
Am I allowed to go off on one?
Yeah, you, but Go on. I will sit back.
I think I'm done with comedy in general. I think I'm done with sequels in particular.
No. Here we go.
We've seen umpteen films like this that are full of toilet humour, full of pop culture references where they don't even need to be. I mean, you've already said all the ones that are there. We've already spoken in today's episode about trailers and how apart from a few surprises in this film that weren't in the trailer. Ted, I mean, there was a lot of good stuff in that trailer, but so much surprise, and it ended in a strong way. It started in a strong way. The whole way through, there was things that we weren't expecting, that were funny, that maybe were out of Family Guy, but still made us laugh. This had really long periods where nothing funny happens. Really long dramatic scenes, as in Ted 1, where nothing funny happens, and you've got to keep momentum. You've got to have a head of steam going into these big finales and stuff, and it's just so dull. I found myself dull. There's things that we laughed at, but like there was one part that you set me off on, Joe.
Yeah, it's a scene at Comic-Con,
in Comic-Con,
which is really funny.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be funny. Like,
it's one of those scenes where it's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's literally like a 30-man brawl in Comic-Con with all these costume people, and then there's this pirate. But he's just so stupid.
It's so
like,
stupid.
Oh
really
my god,
is.
it's pathetic.
But there's so many lines that Seth MacFarlane tees up because he's like, yeah, toilet jokes, and I mean, I know he said like, it's just he needs to stop. He needs to maybe keep doing Family Guy for a little.
Nose again.
Maybe keep Family Guy doing for a little bit longer. I mean, A Million Ways to Die in the West was absolutely torturous. I think it was so dull, and he's done exactly the same thing here. You need to think of smarter ways to do comedy. We saw a film last week that we're going to talk about on our podcast, another sneaky little plug, called The Overnight, which was really smart, which is a really good way of encompassing toilet humour and, you know, genitalia and other stuff that this film deals with, but in such a lazy way. It's such an immature and lazy and rehashed way. I think we're done. I mean, there's been so many films this year that I just maybe sick to my stomach with how boring and dull and unfunny they were. Ted is another one of those films that joins the pile. I mean, Horrible Bosses 2 last year was one of the most uninteresting 2 hours of my life, having really been a massive fan of the first one. Same here, I really liked Ted 1. Ted 2, massive disappointment. I'm finished.
I kind of enjoyed Horrible Bosses 2.
Horrible Bosses 2 was so dull. Nothing funny happened. Nothing funny.
Waltz?
Exactly.
How can you hate a film with
You can't substitute jokes with pop culture and celebrities, like the Jay Leno thing. It's just
Christoph
like
Waltz isn't pop culture.
he's a celebrity. That's what I'm saying.
He's not even that much of a celebrity, really.
He is. He's going to be in Bond.
Yeah, no, but he's not that much of a celebrity. Are you going to say Monica Bellucci to that extent is a pop culture celebrity?
No.
Yeah.
Because are you saying Spy?
No, I'm talking about Spectre. She's in that.
Well, yeah, because she's going to be in Spectre. But like, you can't just have Liam Neeson in for a minute and be like, this is fine. This is funny.
He was in A Million Ways to Die, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's just called in a few favours. I mean, Morgan Freeman, what the hell's he doing there? It's the same with Christoph Waltz. Just stop.
You know, the thing that strikes me about Seth MacFarlane quite a lot is that he uses himself as a vessel to get his worldviews across.
Yes.
That's literally what he ripped Brian as.
He always gives himself the likeable characters to make himself look better for all the horrible stuff he does in Family Guy.
The reason in Family Guy, like, he literally, Brian is, the reason he's voiced like that is because he is him, it's his voice, his worldviews. I mean, there's that scene, remember that scene in classic Family Guy where Quagmire basically rips 10 shades of crap out of him?
Yeah.
Like, just that, there's like that 3-minute rant on why he's an awful man. Like, that was probably one of the funniest scenes that they had, but that's literally just telling why Seth MacFarlane's such a bad person. People call him pretentious because he just loads these, like, awful, like, just all these really preachy lines and sort of subtext in there alongside these toilet humour jokes, you know, and that's presumably why Morgan Freeman was brought in to have that court scene near the end where he's bringing it all home, you know, and
a really rushed sequence, like, at the end.
Yeah, just bringing it all home, you know, just to, like, bring the themes home. And while it did have more thematically to say in the first one, you just when there's so much toilet humour and so much, I don't know, it's a muddle. It's a muddle. It is. But I mean, he has got things to say, but he doesn't always have the right
and
sort of.
And he's tried here to make a big statement
through.
About human rights and.
Yeah. He's got interesting things to say, but he doesn't have the right apparatus.
Write a blog. If you're that mad about human rights, write a blog.
I'd love to see him try to make a serious drama, like to attempt something serious. Like he is a very talented man, but he's just. He relies too much on his old tricks that just aren't funny anymore. If you've been exposed to him for a number of years like we have, he just isn't funny anymore.
No.
He's essentially the same trick every time. And that's why people get irritated with him. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen A Million Ways to Die, so I haven't got to your level yet, but I don't know.
get on.
I'm bored of him.
Get on with himself.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need Family Guy anymore because we've got freaking Morty.
Oh god, I haven't watched Family Guy in years.
Yeah.
Joe, you're not really a Ted. We weren't really a Ted fan.
First one was a entertaining little watch. I think both of them, I would just, if I had to rate them,
In the background.
in 100% at a party, stick it on the background.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's good for. Because like you said, there's the pauses, it doesn't keep up. So it's for a party, it would be perfect. Because you know you're drinking, you'd walk by, there'd be a funny joke, and then you'd move. Because that's what happens. But
It's like all these celebrities, like Tom Brady and Sam.
Because like with Liam Neeson and everything, the things that are meant to like be funny. This is why I don't think it's gonna like date well at all. Because Liam Neeson, obviously now he's had such a weird career. He's the big action star, and he's obviously the dead serious thing and the tricks with like that scene, and we get it. He's serious, and he's doing something like that we would get, but he isn't because he's dead serious, and we get it.
It's going to date so badly. There's some pop culture references which obviously not going to date, but then you've got
the Breakfast Club one.
You've got
just made me
the hashtag references. There's so many hashtag references, and that's going to date very badly. Hashtags will probably be like MSN in 20 years from now. Like there'll be some new sort of categorizing technique come along, and that'll date it.
Even if it doesn't date it, can be fine. There's plenty of funny films that are of that era, but even then, it's just not funny.
No. It's both overstuffed and understuffed at the same time, which is a credit. But
you know, I mean, if
like a bear.
Like the cutaways, if he had less maybe with that comedy club scene, that would have been brilliant. That would have been a perfect moment for a cutaway. But there's too many, and they've been done. And
it speaks volumes in your comedy when the three funniest moments in the film are a shameless shot-for-shot reference, a random cutaway gag which has no effect on the plot, and something incredibly stupid which lasts like 3 seconds. Yeah. Fair enough, you know.
If you like that, go ahead.
Watch it if you want to see something relatively funny, because it's not as offensive as other films have been this year.
No.
Like
that's one thing. It wasn't as offensive as Ted one.
You know, even the pitch black humour, well, comedy scene
it wasn't
funny.
offensive as in the fact that it wasn't like it hurt you to watch it, like some films like Search Party did this year.
Yeah,
but.
I'm just saying, like, the jokes weren't as cutting this time. I mean, like, the whole comedy club scene was like, that was his attempt to have a little bit offensive in there, and it wasn't even that bad. It was just, listing place names where bad things have happened.
That's the thing with Seth MacFarlane now. It's literally just the fact that he's not trying to be offensive anymore. He's literally just, that's how he is. Like, that's just Seth. He's like, you know, if he wants to be Islamophobic or transphobic, he can just be that, because that's Seth MacFarlane's.
The comedy club
he laughs
scene,
at everything.
Pretty much, I think it's pretty much the only thing that's really came out of it. Because it's actually a really interesting setting for something like that. Like you're saying, just bad places, but it's improv.
But again, remember that's the thing as well, because
hilarious.
There's that whole episode with Quagmire trying to start the improv, and Peter's like, John Wayne.
Yeah, it's been done.
It's been done.
It's a Family Guy joke.
I forgot about that. It's been done.
Yeah.
But it's dark. At least it went a bit further.
You're a busy man.
But I don't know.
Seth, but retire.